happy Thursday. Thursday to everyone. Today happens to be a Thursday. We are, today is our, what are we calling it, Tara? Data.
National Real Estate News.
National Real Estate News. That sounds good. So on every Thursday of the week, we are going to have a 45-minute segment on basically real estate data and national real estate news. So we could be covering topics in San Diego, Las Vegas, Iowa, and anywhere else anybody wants to share or talk about, and we'll try to bring in guests. And it's not just those places either. I just happen to have business in those places, so we'll go over some of those. But we're going to talk about national trends and economics and stuff as a whole in here. We will be having guest speakers. One of my favorite people that is the data wizard that knows just the numbers and the way things are going nationally and then also in most of those markets I just said, is Aaron Gordon with Guild Mortgage. So he'll be on some of them moving forward, sharing his wisdom. So really good guy. You can find him on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. So with that said, today we are going to talk a little bit about San Diego market. And let's just pull that up. And I'm going to share my screen. Oh, can you make it so I can share, please, Tara? Also, we have the lovely Tara Andrews here.
Hello.
The manager with the mostest for the Wise Agent Society, our coaching and mentoring company. She's also with Black Owl Realty. She's part of all of it.
Can you share now?
So let's see. Yep, I shall can. And if anybody sees my little dog right there, oh, that's Daisy. She's hanging out. The other one's back there too. We got two dogs in here today. Okay, I'm going to refresh the screen because I was looking at it a little bit yesterday. This is a great resource for data in your city. We did find that some cities share more data than others. This is from Redfin. So this is Redfin's data bank. Just Google Redfin market data, maybe is how I found it. And then you could put in, I think for this one I put San Diego Redfin market data, something like that. And then you can look at all of these different things. So we can go to trends. It has trends, demand, migration. The migration one is cool. We'll look at that in a minute. Market insights, top 10 lists, all the stuff, okay? Great information in here. So if you're just looking for straight up data, this is the place. So we're gonna look at median sale price is $880, which is surprising. It's negative 5.4% year over year. But I know I've seen reports saying, I know that we were closer to $1 million median price not long ago. So that's strange to me. Let's see here though. Maybe if we go here. Yeah, none of these look like it's $1 million. So it might be different data. Let's see. No, whatever. Each place has its own kind of data pool. So that's still good though for, median house price. Average, maybe it was average home price was $1 million. That probably makes sense, right? Number of homes sold, 792. I bet you that is crazy. Is this for a month? Is that, year over year though, what, for the month or for the year? Let me look at something. I don't know, but that's 792 is not very much. That must be for month.
April 2023 you clicked on. That's what it's for.
Where do you see that?
If you go down, the data, April
good.
2023.
Oh, good. Okay. Yay. I was going to say, that is insane. Okay, for a month, that makes sense. Yay. Good. And then this is one of my favorite ones. Median days on market is 14 days. And that is actually 6 days longer year over year. Okay, now here's a good point back to the number of homes sold. We're down almost 40%. So, we're pushing close to half of the homes sold in a month. What that means, as we all know, across the whole country, this is not unique in any market, this part. I coach and mentor people from all over the country, really big cities and really tiny micro towns and towns across the country, and this is the case everywhere. There's just no inventory. And the reason that is mostly because of the last recession we had, the builders got scared and stopped building houses kind of ahead of time, or with the demand, they're always trying to build in arrears. And some of the data that I've seen says that we are easily 5 years behind the demand for building. So, and then we went through the pandemic, and then we had all the supply chain problems, which made all of this worse. So it could be even more than 5 years. I can't remember. Aaron would know all of this stuff, so we'll get clearer data when he comes on. But the point is, they won't catch up. They cannot catch up. I mean, it would take them 5 years to catch up, and they're going to just continue to stay far behind. So what that means is in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I mean, how long could it actually take to catch that up? Long story short is, it's going to be forever. Like, there is almost no way they can catch up. So what that means is that buying property is the smartest thing you can do, period. It doesn't have to be like a really expensive home that you would want to live in or anything like that. It could be just an inexpensive home in any market, but buying real estate is just super smart to do. Now, a lot of people, because as it goes here, we're going to continue having a shortage in inventory, driving prices up. Okay, and then you have these huge conglomerates like Blackstone, and I don't even know all the names of the big ones. As we do this more and more and study the data each week, I'll be more proficient with all the names of the big players and stuff. But I just know that there are many of them, and Blackstone's the only one I happen to know. They are buying up, they're gobbling up, and they are raising funds across the country, and I'm talking in the billions of dollars, to buy property right now, because they know that as the inventory shrinks and shrinks and shrinks, they're going to control the market share. So while people are out there thinking about not buying because interest rates are high, well, in about 5, 10 years, you won't be able to buy anything anyway, at all. All the conglomerates and all the big entities will own a majority of the real estate, and they'll rent. So a lot of analysts and people out there are saying that, you know, if you don't buy a home like really soon here, you're just going to rent a home. So most people, like all these big companies, will be controlling a lot of the inventory, and the few people that actually own property, are going to be in a really, really, really good spot. And these monster corporations and what are they called? Anyway, the big entities will own the majority of the real estate, and they know that that's coming, so they're buying in gobs now, and or at least prepping to buy. They're still buying, but they're prepping to buy in any event that there's a shift in the market. But they're still buying now, and even, who was it that I just saw today? Was it Barbara Corcoran? That's her name, right? Was just saying that now is the time to buy. I'd have to look that up. I thought I had it here. Now back to the data here. Inventory will continue to stay down, and so no matter what. Oh, that was the next point I was going to say. So a lot of people aren't buying because of interest rates, right? So interest rates are today in the 7.25, maybe 7. I don't know. I haven't looked at it actually today. For 30-year fixed rate mortgage, right? On average. There are lots of different ways, and we can talk about places that have lower rates than others. Basically, big portfolio banks like Wells Fargo, who are really hard to close loans on. Like, they're not very good at, not always, but they don't typically close on as fast as other smaller brokerage banks and stuff, but they do have the best rates. So a lot of people work with those big portfolio banks to get the best rates. And I just know Wells Fargo has a really good one, especially on jumbo. So jumbo is going to be, Wells Fargo might be your best bet on rate stuff. Let's look here. So the point of the rate thing was that you're supposed to marry the house, but date the rate. So you shouldn't worry too much about the rate because, and I don't have the dang charts with me in front of me, but Tara, let's look for the chart that shows the difference between buying a house at a low price with a higher rate versus a low rate, higher house price. What you'll find is you're going to lose a ton of money by trying to do that strategy, because buy the house at a very low price and wait for rates to change. Rates will always change. House prices will always go up, continue to go up over the history of 150 years or whatever. Home prices always go up. They might dip a little, but I mean, on a chart, it goes up. Rates adjust. Rates are always adjusting up, down, left, right with the economy and the bond market and all of that. So marry the house, buy the house at a low price. Of course, only if you can afford it. Don't just go buy a house at a rate that's high that you can't afford, because that doesn't make sense. So you have to be able to afford it. You have to be able to afford it long term, and wait for rates to come down and refi then. Another thing to keep in mind, or a strategy when you're buying a house, is if your market has, or learn about what the rental market is like, because even in down markets, rent continues to go up typically. So rents always go up in price. So your mortgage, though, is fixed for 30 years. So that price is locked in for 30 years. So you're smart there, because if you're renting, first of all, you're still paying mortgage. You're just paying somebody else's mortgage. So why pay for somebody else to buy a house when you could just buy your own house? And then people are like, well, I don't have this, that, and that. Well, I'm like, you have 2 months rent, 2 months deposit and rent and pet fees and all this stuff. If you add that up and maybe throw in another deposit amount or whatever, you have enough money to buy a house. You know, that's your down payment. You only need 3.5% down to buy a house, even 3% down with a certain conventional products. So we can get into that another time, but and I know that's still not feasible for everybody. But if you can, you should buy a house, because you're paying 100% interest when you're paying rent. So, you know, if you're saying like, well, I want 5% versus 7% interest, but you're renting, like, you're paying 100% interest. 100% you will get back nothing from. So that's also a good thing to keep in mind. Marry the house, date the rate. Let's look at this. So let's go to single family homes. There we go. That's what it was. There we go. The median sales price is $1 million. And you know what? I kind of knew, have seen this data. It was $1 million, and then the median home price went up about $100,000 in the last month, or by now it might have been a month and a half, 2 months. So we're almost pushing $1 million for median home price for a single family home in San Diego. So good to know that, which it's still down 9% year over year. And there were 417 out of, let's just do that real quick, right? The 792, what's 792 minus 417? It's about like 400, 300 and some, right? 380 or whatever it is. We're not single family. So, I mean, it's close to half. That's an interesting stat. But they don't appreciate, I can tell you that right now, in San Diego, the attached and townhouse condos, all that stuff do not appreciate near what the single family homes do. Single family homes, depending on the area, of course, but in the desirable areas or in a hot area, meaning like closer to the ocean, a popular area, doesn't mean if it's good or bad, but those appreciate around 300% every 15 to 20 years historically. Go back 100 years and you'll see that happen. So single-family homes that are $1 million right now will be worth $3 million in the next 15 to 20 years. And then people are always like, no way that's going to happen. And I'm like, well, check it out. In 1995, houses in Del Mar, California, where the average house price in there is like probably 2.5 now. In 1995, it was $350,000 to buy a house there, right? And when they were building those houses in like 1965, let's say, to 70, somewhere in there, they were going for like $35,000, $40,000. Now, of course, Del Mar has a huge range of houses and custom stuff, but I'm talking about like basic neighborhood, normal, let's say a 1,800 square foot, which is big, 1,800 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Del Mar. So, I mean, through the years, it goes up. It just does. Through the pandemic, they went up, 30% or more. I had a house there that I sold for $1.25 million. And then a little over a year later, it was a $2.3 million during the pandemic. So buying a single family home in San Diego is an amazing way to build wealth, no matter what. But townhomes and condos are still great investment. They just don't appreciate the same quickness as the other ones do. Oh, look at this too. So 12 days on the market for single family homes in San Diego, even in right now. So with the interest rates being higher, people just know that it's smart to buy houses there, and also people want to live there. The weather is beautiful. We'll get to that here in a minute. And there's, of course, tons to do, lots of tourism, and mainly people are there for the weather, right? And it's still 3 days higher than it was year over year for April. That's what we're in. Yep. Sale to list price. Okay, it's 107%, meaning that they're going for list price. They're still going over list price, which is down 5.4 points over last year over year. Homes sold above list price. Well, first of all, before this is, it's a very, very competitive market. The average home sales for 1% above the listing price in 13 days. And the hot homes, the really good ones, sell for 4% above list price, going pending in 7 days. So, I mean, it's just extremely hot. The houses are flying off the market. And just so you know, in both Vegas, California, or Nevada, California, Arizona, the places that I know, houses are sold in 21 days, closed in 21 days. VA, FHA, finance, it doesn't matter. And that's the average. So people are writing them, and the lenders are all closing in 16 days to be competitive. And 30 days would be a longer escrow there. It's not out of the question. And maybe a buyer would do that only because the seller wants a longer close. But typically they're going all day, every day. I mean, but for the last 7, 8 years, they've been doing that. Something like that. They go in about 21 days. But there's definitely not going over 21 days unless it's the benefit to the seller. The seller can do whatever they want, or they might just want some more time to pack up their stuff or things like that. That's not the case in Iowa. Iowa is more like 30 days. I've closed my houses in about 30 days. And then some of the smaller towns, some of that gets hung up on appraisers and stuff, how many appraisers are out there and how quick they are and how good at their job they are. But it's mostly how many are available. The bigger cities, Cedar Rapids, where I'm at now, Des Moines, all those guys can get it done in 30 days, easy peasy, mac and cheesy. But some of the smaller ones that don't have the infrastructure or the people to do the work, it's a little bit slower. But that gives you and I don't know the rest of the Midwest. Hopefully we'll get some people on here in the future that can share their little areas there too on those points. Homes with price drops is 19.4%, which is definitely higher than before, because before, a year ago or so, there were no price drops, right? Let's go to single family homes. Oh, change there. This is still the same. That's what I was wondering. Homes sold, so 50% sold above list price, and a little bit higher on price drops on that. Price drops doesn't mean like the houses prices are falling or values in San Diego, although they are. They're down 5%. 5%. Not like some of these agents out there that are trying to write offers that are 20%, or buyers. They're trying to get 20% knocked off prices. That's unrealistic. That's not going to happen. But 5% is, compared to the peak a year and a half ago, they're down that. So my point is, if some people might be pricing their homes over the top, and they're making price adjustments. Where a year and a half ago, you could price your house however you wanted, and you'd get 20 to 30 buyers on it, and they would bid the price up to 50 to 100,000 over appraised value. Let's say $100,000 over appraised value. So they were coming into the house on purpose, $100,000 upside down, and that happened all day, every day on almost every property. So that part has cooled down. Now it's only going like on the hot homes and the good homes, like 25, 50,000 K over. But it's not the total, like just make up numbers. So we got to stick with real data and real comps that will support this purchase price. Which people are just still overzealous. But I mean, it's still a seller's market, so they're smart to go for the gusto. But there are some homes that are overpriced. You can't underprice a home, just so you know. If you underprice a home with the amount of buyers out there, they will create a frenzy and they'll drive it back up and then probably beyond your purchase price or the fair market value. If you price it too high, then you won't get the activity. People will see that and say, oh boy, that seller is probably hard to work with and unrealistic. They don't really want to sell their house. That's not somebody I want to mess with. So they're intimidated, and then they might not make offers. They might not look at it. They might not all of those things. So it's always better to price your house under and build it back up to higher, because you can't sell it too low. There are 25 people that want to buy your house at any given moment. They're not going to let somebody get away with a smoking deal. It's not going to happen. The only way you're going to get a smoking deal is find ones with problems. Those are my favorite houses. Find ones with problems. I like driving around neighborhoods, especially in San Diego, and looking for houses with original old wooden swing-up doors they're not motorized. They're not the panel doors that, look for the really old crappy ones with the panel doors, because most times people are going to replace their door first before they replace anything else, their garage door. That'll poop out or it's just too heavy or whatever as they get older. So if they still have that, chances are the rest of their house is really old. And those are the ones you want to get. Those are the ones where you have the most value and opportunity, because you go in, put $100,000, $200,000 in it or whatever, and you make $500,000, whatever. That's a crazy example, but I'm just saying it's not that crazy. But depending on the house, you can make huge margins on that. But the better would be, I'm even talking just for people to buy it to live in. Buying it, fix it up, and then you have all this equity you're sitting on, and you have this road to your wealth and retirement and wealth for your kids to pass down in the future by looking for those opportunities. If you want turnkey, you're going to pay this over list price. So yeah, over list price. That's what's going to happen, which is fine. Because remember, 15 and 20 years, it's going to triple in value. So historically, that's what the data says in San Diego. This is a fun one. So where are people moving to and from San Diego? Home buyers search to move to San Diego from outside metros. Los Angeles home buyers search to move to San Diego more than any other metro, followed by San Francisco and Chicago. San Francisco is the dream buyer for San Diego because they're moving from a place where it's almost double in price, even though San Diego is a high market to buy in, but it's way higher in San Francisco. Although lately they're down the most out of the whole country, the Bay Area, in value price drop. I want to say they're like 20-25% down total. And 72% of people from San Diego are moving to, I'll show you, well, right here, Phoenix and Dallas. So this is number of people moving to San Diego. Right here, you can see. So the Bay Area, all of that, and LA down. This Chicago? Probably, yep, Chicago. Ooh, 398 people searching to move to San Diego from Chicago. What's this one? New York, Washington, Harrisonburg, Louisville. Okay, what's your guess, Tara, of where people are moving from San Diego to? Where do you think they could be going?
Texas, Arizona, Florida.
Yep, 100%. I bet you that's the top three. Let's look. Does it say at the top? No. Well, where's this? Nashville. Yeah, Nashville is on fire for anywhere in the country, but definitely there. Florida. Yep. And Texas. Look, boom, Texas. Where is this? Alaska?
Hawaii.
Hilo. That's in Hawaii. Hilo, Hawaii. And Las Vegas. Tons of people moving to Las Vegas. Las Vegas makes so much sense because there's no state income tax. So a lot of people are going there and they're saving 10-15% of their income by moving there, just in that part. Plus, there's a whole bunch of other tax-friendly stuff. The properties are affordable. The entertainment is nonstop and cool. It's so cheap to fly in and out of there. You'll have 1 million visitors and guests. I lived there, for what, 8 or 9 years. And beautiful, the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen. Beautiful mountain ski resort and hikes and all that stuff. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And it's very cost effective because if you're making, let's just say, you're uber duper rich, which a lot of people are, believe it or not, and they go there and they save, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in taxes a year by saving that 10-15%, whatever it is, in state. It depends on your tax bracket and all of that, but it saves a lot of money, at least 10% for on average, I would say, which is a lot of money. Or to people that are uber duper duper rich, you know where they move to, Sarah?
I do not.
Outside of the box. Puerto Rico. Because they have a 4% flat tax, and it's what is it called? A U.S. territory right now. So it's American-ish, and it has a 4% flat tax. So Tony Robbins, guess where he lives? Yep. All the big, anybody that has just buku millions and millions of dollars they're making each year, move there because it saves them literally millions and millions of dollars. So they have to live there 51% of the time, something like that, or whatever, one day over half the amount of days, or 51% of the time, whatever it is. Here's a weird one though. Portland, Oregon. Sure. Guess people want to get to the mountains. That makes sense. Or to the lush, coast. I love Oregon. Oregon and Iowa typically have the nicest people I've ever met in my life. And I used to travel a lot with my trucking company, and I had a satellite shop or office in Oregon, so I could register all my trucks and stuff there and trailers. They do lifetime business ones. You pay one time and you get your plates forever. So I just created an office and went up there all the time to do work, stuff on my trucks. It was cool and beautiful. Even the people at the DMV were nice. Net inflow, okay. Still doing okay on time for now?
We're getting close to needing to wrap up here.
Okay. People moving to San Diego from LA, San Francisco, Chicago, Washington, DC. Going to Vegas is number one, which has been the case forever. Las Vegas is number one. Recruits come from Bay Area. Actually, it's like Bay Area, LA, San Diego, and Hawaii. There's a ton of Hawaiian folks and Islanders and Pacific Islanders in Las Vegas. And they call it, what do they call it? The Fifth Island or something? Kind of fun. Miami, Nashville, Houston, Georgia. Georgia is hot. This is cool stuff that you can see on this chart. Offer not accepted. They offered $1 million and it ended up selling for 1.25 million. These folks offered 900,000. It sold for 950. So this is great data to share with your clients that are like, oh, I'm going to lowball. I'm going to do this. And it's like, that's not how it works here. Look, 32 offers on this one 4 weeks ago. Okay. It was listed at, well, who knows what it was listed at, but they offered $1 million on it and it sold for 1.25 out of 32 offers. So if you think you're going to come in and try to lowball and get stuff, it's not happening. And there's multiple ones like this. This one, I love this data they put. My clients offered 910, which put them in the top 6, which received a seller multiple counteroffer. They increased to 925. Seller accepted offer in the 950s. We have to get into seller multiple counteroffers another time, but basically what that means is that they'll take the top 5 out of 30 offers, the listing agent and the sellers. The sellers will pick what they want to do. And then they'll just counteroffer those top 5. And they can make the terms different on every one. So basically they're going to try to make them all rise up to be the same good offer as they can, that will net the seller whatever it is they want. By the way, that's not always money, so stop saying it. You can't say that, because not all sellers want the most money. They want maybe better terms or better, they want somebody to take all their stuff and give them 60 days to move out or something like that. So it's whatever the seller wants, not whatever we want or whatever we say. We're working for our clients, and that's whatever they say is what we're trying to do. So anyway, you're going to make that seller multiple counteroffer as high as you can and make them all match in, I don't know, strength to what the seller wants. And if they all accept, let's say all 5 accept, then the seller gets to go through and pick the winner. Like, even if they all say, yes, we'll take it, the terms, that doesn't mean they win. Then the seller picks the one they want based on whatever. And if somebody wants to come up higher or adjust even more, they can. So that is, there were more on that, more offer insights. There you go. Look at this. Ooh, I like this term too. 20% down, 20% down. Here's all cash, right? So this is a funny thing too, that buyers think they can come in with all cash and get a smoking deal. The only thing that does is takes out, some contingency periods and issues with lenders and loans. But if those are fully underwritten, approved, then that's not even an issue anyway. And at the end of the day, it's all cash to the seller. Whether you're paying with a loan or cash, they're getting cash in the end of the day. So you're saving them with a little bit of terms, and it doesn't do a whole lot. Now, we have a current cash buyer for $1 million for condos in San Diego right now in Carlsbad. And we have some power in the way we write it is we're going to close in 14 days. We're going to do a 5 days inspection contingency and no appraisal. So we wipe out all the stuff that takes time, and we can find ones that are looking for a cleaner, quicker offer. So as long as it's the same, and this one wasn't, they didn't get it because they went under. So, a seller might not care that you're closing fast and with cash. I mean, it's worth $50,000 more if they go with somebody and wait 21 days instead of 14. They wait one more week to get $50,000. So your cash doesn't mean that you can do whatever you want or get a smoking deal, is what this is telling us. That had 4 competing offers, 5 days on market, you see. And then here's another not accepted, 850 sold for 900. It's curious. It's interesting. These are almost all 50K off, except this one's $250,000 off. So that one was pretty funny. but another all cash one, 2 offers. They went for the more because they can. They're going to have 20 different, and this one, they were only on the market 8 days, so they only had 2 offers, but still, it's rare. 2 more offers, so probably 3 in total. It's rare that you're going to be the only one competing on a house there. Here's 30% down, 800, and it still sold for 800. So somebody else had better terms on that one. Maybe they were offering a quicker close. Maybe they did an appraisal waiver. They said, I don't care if it appraises or not, we'll pay higher than what it appraises, whatever it is. And sometimes they put a cap on that, and sometimes they don't. There's a lot of different ways that you can make your offer more appealing, depending on what you're comfortable with and what you can do financially, and how solid your financing is and who it's with. Does matter. I think we're running out of time here. This is some more cool stuff. Top 10 neighborhood and home rankings, bikeable neighborhoods, affordable homes. That would be something fun to look at in the future. We don't have time for it now. Expensive homes. Guarantee you that's La Jolla, Rancho Santa Fe, or Del Mar. Not 100 million%. It could be a 100-acre property and not Jamul, but I don't know. I think of somewhere else crazy. But I guarantee most of them are in Del Mar. Rancho Santa Fe is going to be your biggest, most expensive homes in La Jolla too. So then we go into schools. Lots of great schools in San Diego, all over the place. And then there's just wonderful private schools all over too. And then there are magnet schools and charter schools all over. So even if your school district isn't the greatest, I guarantee there's probably a charter school nearby that is top rated. We've lived in so many different neighborhoods that we know how to find good schools in no matter what the area. All right. Are we on time? We still got a couple minutes? We started a couple minutes late.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, it's still a drought, even though we've had record rainfall there. I'm sure these numbers are correct, because I feel like that's gone way down. It rained since December until like a couple weeks ago, I feel like. Everybody there will tell you that it's been nuts. It hasn't been sunny. You know what? There was like not even. You know what? There were no sunny days in May. I think it's the stat I saw. There's traditionally May gray and June gloom. So those are 2 times of the year that are not ideal to go visit San Diego if you're looking for sunshine and beaches, because it's just the marine layer and the way the climate is during those times of the years. It's like cloudy and hazy and marine layer. It's just this heavy fog from the ocean. But this year, like May was every day that way. Usually there's a couple days of sunshine in there, but this year, all gray. And we're wondering if June's going to be the same too. Lots of public transport. This is funny, that's only 37 out of 100. Maybe as you go inland more, that's probably why. There's a huge part that's outlying the central part of San Diego. But anywhere in the central area, you're going to have tons of bus and trolleys and trains and, bike access almost everywhere, and walkable too. But like I said, it's a big county. San Diego County's huge. I think it's 3 million people in the county. And I want to say, I'm probably saying it wrong if it's a million in the city proper. We'll have to look that up, but 3 million total in the county, which I think conversely, there might be 3 million in the state of Iowa, for a cool stat. And the county of San Diego has 3 million. Crazy, right? And then here you go. So if you want more resources on other areas, boom chakalaka. Come down here, and that's where it goes. So that's what we got for today. You have any insights or anything you want to look at more on here, Tara?
Nope. I just want to
Or questions?
remind people to join us on Thursdays for more real estate news, and Tuesdays for our Sharpen the Saw with Shay. Next week, we are talking about networking for real estate agents and why it's important. So join us on Tuesday as well.
Yep, we'll go over some really cool tips and tricks on Tuesday on how to meet your local market realtors, build relationships with them, learn the market at a higher rate, and be hobnobbing with the people that are buying or that are helping people buy and sell houses the most in your area. And then you can learn from them and collaborate with them. And it's always best to know people that you're in all the realtors and collaborate and share and do things with them, because once you come to a deal with one of the people on the other side and you know them, well, that's going to make things so much better and easier for you and your client. Anyway, have a great day, and hope you all have a good weekend coming up, and thanks for coming by. We'll see you next week.